guys, my name is Michael and welcome to a new GType tutorial. Today we're going to move on and learn some new things, macros and functions which we can apply to our GType values and which kind of other information we can retrieve with the help of those GTypes. And for this, the next thing which we are going to do, how we are going to work, it will be GType from class. I'm going to introduce you, and why do we need that you will see in a second. I just need to find it. GType is class, GType from class right here. The GType from class, it is also a macro which, as you can see, gets the type identifier for a given class structure. So this macro should only be used in the in type implementations, and as you can see, it returns a GType. In other words, the G class, it is only the location of the valid GType class structure. If we check the GType class, we can see that this structure, it is quite big, and it holds a lot of information: interfaces type, classes type, and instantiates type. And we have a lot of information inside it. It is not important right now for you to see exactly what it is. You can check it and you will see. Anyway, later we are going to talk about them as well. At this point we are going to call the GType from class, but before we call the GType from class, we need to make some modification, and the first one, I'm going to declare a GObject class, and this one basically gets the class for us from our button. This is very important for us so that you understand what I'm trying to do. After, I'm going to basically to get first the button class. Because I have the button class right now, I can basically get the type from class right here. So the next thing which I'm going to do, it will be a GType, and I'm going to say get type from class, and here of course we are going to pass this time the class. And now, because we have the class, the next thing which I'm going to introduce you, it will be a function. And the next function which I want to introduce you this time, it is called GType name. It is right here, and this function, as you can see, it returns a gconst char. I'm not quite sure if I already introduced you in the last videos, but whatever. If not, gets the unique name that is assigned to the type ID. So note that this function, like all other GType application program interfaces, cannot cope with invalid type IDs. So in other words, we are going to call this one. We can save it into a pointer if you want to. So const gchar const get name, for example. And here, of course, we are going to pass our GType from class. And now, because we have it, we can print it. So gprint, and let's say the type from class, better. So the type from class is, and %s, new line, and of course get name. Now let me compile it and run it for you. At this point I have a problem. Yeah, because we didn't use, I'm going to comment for a second, get from instance call, because we don't need it right now. We'll need it in a moment, but not right now. So what, as you can see, at this point what we have the type from class is GTK button. So basically this is the same thing which you get it if, like, when you call gprint and I can say, or whatever, no, the widget name is, %s GTK GTK widget get name. Because we didn't change the name at all, we didn't call the GTK set widget set name, you will see that the same name we have it, but from different, you see, from different calls. At this point we got the name from the class itself. The second move which we did, we got the name from the widget as we needed. The next thing which I'm going to introduce you, it will be a function which is called GType GTname, which is right here, and as you can see it returns a gquark. It takes a type, a GType, and says get the corresponding gquark of the type by this name. Like I told you at the beginning, you should follow my gquark playlist so that you understand exactly what gquarks are. And now, because you know and because you follow the playlist and you know what the gquark is, let us use it. So this is the next thing which we are going to do. So gquark, we are going to declare gquark, and of course I'm going to call the function right here, and the type which we are going to pass this time, I forgot, it will be the type instance, which we get it with the help of GType from instance, so that we give a meaning to this call. And now, because we have it, the next call, it will be of the gquark to string. Like I said, you should already know what exactly it is. If not, go back to gquark playlist, name from quark, I'm going to call it, and I'm going to call, like I said, gquark to string, this one, gquark to string right here, and of course I'm going to pass our quark. Okay, because we have it now, basically we can print it. So I'm going to copy this call here, do not type again, and I'm going to say the type from quark this time is, and of course then name from quark. And now watch, at this point we found out another way, you see, about how we can find out the name. You see, GTK button, we got it from the class, we got it from the widget name, and we got it also from the quark. And so basically this is another way. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to move to another function which is called GType from name. As you can see, it returns a GType and needs a name, and looks up the ID from a given type name, so returning 0 if no type has been registered, and so on. So in other words, the next thing which we are going to do, it will be a call of, we are going to say to create a GType because we need it. So GType, and let's say type from name. It is not very important what exactly you are going to declare right there. You decide it, and of course we need this function. And because now we have this function, we are going to pass, of course, the name from quark, this one right here, which we retrieve it, so that we give more meaning to this value. Now, because we have it, we can print it, isn't it? So I'm going to copy again the gprint call, and I'm going to change it now. And let's say the type from name, we can say this time is, and type from name, of course, the type from name. And because we got the GType, basically now we can call the GType name. So again, we can call this function by passing this type from name in here, and this name we're going to say get type name. We are going to discuss this one in a moment after we have them all. So at this point, after we call the GType from name, as you can see, we have another GTK button, this time from name. And if you think that that's everything, trust me, there are much more things which can help you to get information from with the help of GTypes, and there are so many ways that basically you cannot imagine. But let us talk a little bit again about what we did right now. So we are calling the GType from instance because we need it basically. Let me move this call because it doesn't belong here and creates confusion. I'm going to move it here. So let us start again. With the help of the GObject class, we are getting the class of the button. Once that we have it, we pass it to GType from class. With this macro, after we pass the class of the button, which we got it right here, basically we found out which type used the button based on its class. Once that we have it, we pass it to GType name and we save it into a pointer, and with the help of that pointer we are printing, and we found out that the name, it is indeed GTK button. With the help of GWidget get name, you saw that we got the same name, but this behavior change once that you call the GTK widget set name. If you do a name, if you give another name here, let's say my button, you should already know that. At this point, the GTK widget get name will return the last name you gave. At this point, you see we have this time my button because we just decide to change its default name, which was got. Okay, so the next thing after that, we were calling the GType from instance macro by passing the object again, the button. We got its type. With the help of its type, we pass it this time to GType QName and we save it into a quack. And after that, with the help of a function called gquark2string, you should follow my gquark playlist about this. We got the name from the quack because we can print it, and we notice that it is the same name which we got it basically from our instance, and it is the same name which we got it basically from our GType name, which was retrieved from the object class right here. Okay, with the help of the getType from class, the GType value. Anyway, the next thing which we noticed, there is another function which is called GType from name and needs a quack, and it needs a name which we got it with the help of the quack. The way which exactly you are passing here, it's your decision. And once that we save that information in a GType value, with the help of GType name, we retrieve the same name back. At this point, as you can see, as you already noticed, we got so much information, and we got that name. Now, of course, the important thing which you need to know, it is that at some point you will see that you need these calls different, and the way you are working with your programs and the way you are creating your functions, you will see that at some point you don't have a name, you have a quack, or maybe you have no quack, you have a GType which you are passing it, or you are expecting it. So basically it's not important if you have a name, if you have a quack, or if you have a type from all of them, or if you have a class, or if you have an instance from an object or something like this. It won't matter. The thing which is important for you, it is that with the help of these combinations you can retrieve the thing which you are interested in, and you, of course, you are not stick to something or to only one thing. Because I use here name from quack, it doesn't mean that you should it is the only one which you can use. Of course, you can use the get name, which you got it from the class itself. So now if I change the GType from name with the get name, the behavior should be the same and the result should be also the same. You see, that's important for you to understand, because like it said, it needs a name. So if you are 100% sure, which I'm not, recommend you, GTK button works the same, because you are just passing a name which exists. You see? So just to be 100% sure that you understand. That being said, thank you guys for watching. If you like it, please subscribe, share with your friends and neighbors, and until next time, see you guys.